Oh shoot, I think we're live. Okay. Are we live? Cool. Alright. So, hey everyone. I'm gonna be doing Omega Ruby today. I think it's a very good game. I'll explain more as we go along, but let's go. Alright. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So, as this minute of cutscenes before the game plays out, I'll describe a little bit about the run. So, this run picks Mudkip because it's the best starter objectively, and it's much faster for the speedrun in the trainers in the Hoenn region. It probably does the best getting past Roxanne, and basically has no trouble getting past like things like Watson because it's ground type by then, and Flannery. And then after Norman, we switch to the Latios that you're given, and you use that from just after Norman until you get Groudon, like right before the 8th gym. So you saw we picked the girl there. The girl is faster because if you pick the girl, not only does the male rival have less text boxes, but his Pokemon are a lot easier to beat. And we named our character a one-character name because it's the fastest. So the first major part of the run, especially for like marathon runs and like races and stuff, is getting a good Mudkip. So I didn't prepare a Mudkip today, which frankly wouldn't have been much fun to watch. So, and the requirements for a good for a runnable Mudkip are not really that high. All you really have to get is a Mudkip that doesn't have like minus attack or something, and decent IVs and everything. So, it usually takes 2 to 3 tries to get tops. And obviously there are some Kips that are better than others, but and you saw there before I changed my settings after I got control of my character. And so what I did was I changed text to fast because this is a speedrun. I changed battle animations, I turned them off because those are slow. I turned the battle options from shift to set because you don't really need more than one Pokemon in this run at a time. And then, most importantly, okay, please. Most importantly, we switched the L to A, and that provides the fastest mashing possible for this game. So what you do is you hold L while mashing B, and also mashing your bottom screen, and that provides the fastest possible mashing for text boxes. And that works pretty much in every game from Gen 6 and 7. And maybe Let's Go 2, I'm not sure. I haven't run it. So we're going to do this little cutscene with the rival here. So that we can get a Pokemon, so we can play the game. Okay. So now, go get our Mudkip, and we're gonna save before the bag, obviously, so that we can get a runnable one. And saving in this game especially, but both Gen 6 games really, is very short. It takes like 2 to 3 seconds. Probably a bit more than that, but not a lot of time. And you guys probably can't see it, but on my stream I have an IV calculator. So I can use that to help me make decisions on things like ranges I can take. I can take that. Yeah, I can take that. So that's plus special attack, minus special defense. And anything minus special defense is good, because special defense you don't need at all, really. It would be kind of Monka-S if this has 13 attack at level 6, but otherwise it should be okay. So special attack is one of those stats where you use it for like very specific fights, and it's very important in those fights. And other fights, like most of the game, you don't use it at all. Like one of the biggest run killers is a trainer in Brawly's gym, and his name is Hideki. And part of Hideki is hitting a 3-shot range, and if you miss that range, there's a pretty high chance that you die. So your special attack has to be above a certain threshold. It's pretty hard for it not to be a range. Your special attack has to be pretty good. And also, Rival 2 is another big thing for special attack. Both of those fights use Echoed Voice, which you'll see me get in a second. Or not in a second, but like later on the split. And Echoed Voice is a move that... It's a special move with 40 base power, and it doubles in power every time you use it consecutively. So it's kind of like a special version of like Fury Cutter, and does more damage. So we use that for both Brawly's Gym and Rival 2. And if you miss the range on Rival 2 Grovyle, he can use Mega Drain and kill you in one shot. I'm not sure what I'll do if I get 13 attack level. I guess I'll just get more experience from like Roxanne's gen or something. I don't know. Let's just get +2 and not have to worry about it. Easy. So this is actually plus speed. I wasn't expecting that. So I got a +2 in speed on that level up, which means I have plus speed. And speed is very interesting too. You can be at minus speed and still have a pretty good Mudkip. Because 0 to 1 neutral speed is actually worse than like 17 IV minus speed. So that's like the worst you can get, and it makes like 5 different fights a lot worse if you have that. But thankfully, this is a very runnable Mudkip, so we have no problem. Okay, so now what? So now we're gonna say bye to Mom, or Mom's gonna say bye to us, I guess. And then Brendan's gonna take us into a catching tutorial, kind of, that we just skip. I played this casually, and I had no idea you could just run past this. We use a feature called the, we don't use it, but in ORS there's a feature called the Dex Nav that he's about to give. And the catching tutorial features a Poochyena that has one of the rare Fang moves that do pretty good damage, but obviously it's not runnable. Well, I guess it is, but it's not faster. So now, this split is pretty RNG dependent, I'd say. Mostly based off encounters. We haven't gotten any encounters yet, so that's good. But there's still a lot more encounter places. And it varies by, like, probably up to, like, almost 2 minutes. Based on how many encounters you get. So this Zigzagoon is, like, the trolliest range ever. Like, you almost always get it. But when you don't, it's just, like, very tedious, because he can growl you. And make it, like, another hit. But yeah, once again, you rarely ever miss it. Two encounters there. That's okay. Oh, I forgot to talk about why we don't nickname Mudkip in this game. So, I think Gen 6 is the first game, the first set of games where not nicknaming your Pokemon is faster. Because of how fast the text speed is. So that the length of your Mudkip's name doesn't really matter. And since it takes less time to not nickname it, you just don't. So we get this little cutscene here, which seems very pointless to me. They added this in this game, where you and Brendan just watch a few beautiful flutter on by. And then we get to the good old catching tutorial in all Gen 3 and 6, or no. For us. God. So, for Hideki, the range I was talking about with the 3-shot range, my special attack's actually good enough so that there's a chance that it might not be a range. My special attack right now is either neutral, 20 to 28 IV, and if your special attack is above 23 IV, then it's not a range, which makes the fight significantly easier. But obviously, we're still gonna save. I just recently learned this, but it's actually faster to mash the text boxes in this tutorial, because if you don't, they'll go at the slowest pace ever, and they can go faster if you mash them. Which I had no idea. So, the next fight we're going to do is with a Poochyena from a Magma Grunt. So Magma Grunt's trying to, whatever, he's trying to do something to, some guy. Oh, he's trying to steal the Devon goods or something, or the Devon parts, from this professor-looking guy, but he's not the actual professor. And there are like a few of these fights, and it really depends which way is faster depending on your attack and special attack combo. So my attack is barely runnable. My attack is barely runnable, so it's not that great. But so we're gonna water gun this, where you would normally tackle this. And it can go a little bit wrong, but I don't think it can really kill you unless you take risks or get crit. Because this Poochyena does have stand attack, unfortunately. And sure, people know how stand attack is sometimes. Alright, so that's a win. I don't have to heal here because you get a free heal right after this fight. So we get the EXP share, which will definitely be very useful later on in the game. I'm just kidding, we never use it. And so here, we're gonna get an encounter. But we're also gonna dodge a spinner here, while picking up a hidden ball mushroom, which has no great purpose, so we sell it. It sells for about $6,000. You sell it so that you can get more X items and repels and stuff later on in the game. So not great encounter luck there. We got 4 encounters total, which is very not ideal. But it's perfectly fine. So here is where we're going to get echoed voice from this boy right here. I believe in the Gen 3 games he gives Bullet Seed, but in this game he gives a much more useful move. Dodge that spinner. And spinners in this game, comparatively to other games, are very easy to dodge. Like, you don't have to pause, you don't have to bag manip, like in the original Gen 3 games. In Gen 5, I believe you just kind of YOLO them, there's nothing you can do about it. But in this game, all you have to do is wait for them to turn, and if you can just run by them, it's easy. So we're coming up to Roxanne's gym now, and there are 2 optional trainers in this gym, 3 optional trainers. We only fight one of them, because this girl's Geodude is the only trainer, well, so that kid I just dodged just then also only has one Geodude, but that Geodude has Sturdy, which means it takes 2 hits to kill. And this girl's Geodude does not, so it's the better option to kill. We do this because it's like the easiest way to get experience. Besides, like, killing wild encounters. Okay, so we're not going to save for this fight because the only way you really die is if you risk crit range and get crit. A lot of gyms are like that. Most of the gyms are actually really easy with the exception of one. And that's Norman. There's a few minor inconveniences that you'll see in each one, but for the most part, they're all pretty simple. So this Geodude has Sturdy, so it won't die. But it does help because she uses her potion here and not on the nose pass. And so the AI in this game is very strange when it comes to what moves it decides to use. So how it works really is Nosepass will only use Rock Tomb if it knows it's slower, if it's faster than you. No, if it's slower than you. God. I'm gonna heal here just so I don't get crit and die. If it's slower than you, it'll use Rock Tombs until it's faster than you. But because I already got the Rock Tomb on the Geodude, I already was slower than it, and so it just uses Tackle. Very handy when not trying to die. So we're gonna actually fight another Geodude team here for a little bit more experience. There is a hiker on the next route that gives very useful experience, and he's a spinner, so you don't have to waste time trying to dodge him. You have to dodge him twice if you didn't fight him, because when you go there and when you come back as well. So we're going to help this guy get back the Devon parts, which have been stolen by Team Magma. We gotta get him back. Alright, we got lucky with encounters there. So, this first Geodude does not have Sturdy, but the second one does. So, it's faster to Mud Shot or Mud Slap this Geodude first, so you don't have to see the Sturdy animation. And I wouldn't have healed on Roxanne if this Geodude wasn't dangerous, but this Geodude can actually roll out you for 6 to 7 damage. So if you're too low, then you just die. So when we go into the cave here, we're gonna do a menu. So first we're gonna use the repel that we just got, then heal the full. And we're gonna teach Rock Tomb and Echo Voice here. Rock Tomb doesn't get a whole lot of use, but it is very useful for some fights. Like Maxi, the first Maxi fight on Mount Chimney needs to kill Golbat with Rock Tomb. And actually in Omega Ruby, it helps to kill all the Coughings as well. Whereas in Alpha Sapphire, you have to fight Grimers instead, which can easily be taken down by some of the ground moves that Marshtomp gets. So this fight works a little like similarly. Normally, if you're slower than this Poochyena, then you Rock Tomb however many times it takes so that you're faster. But since we're faster anyways, we can just do whatever it takes to kill it. Ideally, you want to Rock Tomb, like, not, like, you want to Rock Tomb as less as possible. Because Rock Tomb has a 95% accuracy, whereas Water Gun is 100%, so you want to use that as much as you can. Oh, so we have exactly 23 special attack, which is very unfortunate. But it does mean that Hideki is a 90+% range, as opposed to like a 40% range, which it can be. But still would have been nice to guarantee the kill. So spinners work very weirdly in this game specifically, because you have to dodge that spinner that way, because if you cross, like if you go up and over the spinner within his range to see you from the side, then he can hit you while turning. Like he'll spin and he can see you while he's turning. So you have to be very, very careful when dodging spinners like that. Like the Hiker works like that too. That's another reason. I don't think it works like that in any other game. Not even XY. So we're gonna get this letter, we bring that to Steven in Granite Cave, which is over by Dewford Town, which is our next stop. So we do Brawly's Gym before Granite Cave, however. No particular reason why, it's just that Brawly's Gym is like closer. I guess if we really, really wanted to do Granite Cave first, it would not be much slower. So we're going to take the Mart here. Normally in Omega Ruby you don't have to do this, but it provides extra consistency in both Granite Cave and the Hideki fight, since you buy 3 supers here, whereas you'd buy supers later on if you didn't do the Mart here. But Alpha Sapphire, the what's it called, the museum, where the Team Aqua is like staying, I don't know, like they're trying to steal some parts from the captain there, and instead of Nummels, which are pretty easy to kill for the most part, Alpha Sapphire has to fight Carvanas, which you have to rock to, and those rarely die. But you don't necessarily need supers in Omega Ruby until like Rival 2. Since you're given 10 potions, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a in Gen 3 there's a Mart employee that's in that, I think it's Old Val Town, and you can talk to him if you want, but it's not required. But in this game, he will come up to you and give you the tour of like, hey, what's a Pokemon and what's a Pokemon Center? And then he gives you 10 potions instead of 1 afterwards. So that proves to be very, very useful. So you just saw we just got the Silk Scarf there. That is very important for this gym. makes the trainers in this gym, which are all required, a lot easier to deal with. So this Meditite, and there's another Meditite later on. Both Meditites have Detect, Endure, Confusion, and Meditate. And Meditate is the very, very best you can get, because it boosts attack, and he doesn't have any physical attacking moves. Confusion is it can be okay, but it's probably the worst because it can confuse you, and it can actually kill you. But in this case, we're fine. Hey, we're in perfect potion range. That's cool. So now we're coming up on Hideki, which is arguably the hardest fight in the game. But probably not on this run. Norman is probably going to be the hardest in this run. We still can die. There's a fight that can like kill you every single time. If you focus energies turn 1 and then karate chop or low sweep crits turn 2, then you always die. But foresight is fantastic because it just gives you basically a free turn. This should be a win. Okay, easy. We did it. It's here. Yeah. Probably could have supered there, but ideally you want to conserve your supers as much as possible. I don't know why he was faster than me there. It's very strange. That's confusion. Endure or Meditate here is the best. Detect is bad. He just does not want... Oh, that crit's very good as well. But this Machop will probably not die, because I got that crit. If you get enough Echoed Voices on Meditite, Machop can die. But it's not a big deal because he's pretty harmless in this fight. So interesting strat here. So the Makahita on Brawly has knockoff, and it's much more likely to use knockoff if you have a held item on. So we actually take this Silk Scarf off so that he's more inclined to use something less harmful. However, that move that can be less harmful can be Stand Attack. And Stand Attack on the last turn of Echoed Voice is pretty devastating. You win most times, but it loses a lot of time. This Machop can damage you. He's, I think, 50-50 to damage you. Pretty sure he has Bulk Up, Leer, Karate Chop, and Low Sweep. No, not Low Sweep, Seismic Toss. And we want Bulk Up or Leer. So that's not good. So we have to actually heal here. Basically restart the fight. Good. Perfect. That's what he usually does. He usually does non-attacking moves most times. Very strange they went for Karate Chop twice in a row. I think he can bulk up too, which is ideal. And there's Sand Attack, but he can't. I probably could have. Okay, that's fine. Since Brawly already used his Super Potion, which doesn't usually happen, I probably could have Water Gunned that. and would have killed. But if you hit Makahita into heal range, then you need another Echoed Voice to kill. And that's kind of another reason why you want to equip the Soft Silk Scarf, so that you don't knock Makahita into heal range. If you have bad enough special attack, it won't. And again, it's not the end of the world if it does. You just lose a bit of time. Okay, so I don't need to pick up the Stardust there. Sometimes you do if you need a lot more items. So we're going to do Repel here. Since we're on full HP, we don't need to heal. So that's it. So normally in Omega Ruby runs, like, towards the higher level, you risk all of these encounters. Partially to save money for extra X items, partially for time save. And skipping the mart is pretty fast. What was I gonna say? Funnily enough, if you get one encounter in Granite Cave, it's still faster than taking the mart. But 2 or more is slower. So that's why it's... in marathon runs like these, it's better to be consistent. So far, our RNG has been pretty okay. Hideki kills a lot of runs, usually. Probably like only 60% win rate or something like that. We get this very nice cutscene from Steven here. Alright. So we're going to take the boat over to Slateport, and then we're going to get a few items that I'll just say why we get those in a second. So in Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but yeah, Sapphire, Emerald, you absolutely need the soft sand so that you can win certain fights, and in Omega Ruby it's pretty much the same way. And the guy's in the same place and it gives you the same item. Or the girl, rather. And so after this, we're going to get an item that you don't get in Gen 3, which is the PP Up. And we don't use the PP Up for anything, you just sell it for extra money. Since you do all your shopping right here, you want to get as much money as possible so you can get all you want. Slateport is one, it might be actually the only mart that sells X items in this game. So you need to stock up for pretty much the whole run. Although at some point, like during the storyline, you come back to Slateport. So you do another trip there, but for the entire Mudkip section, basically, and part of the Latios section, you need to buy all of your X items here. So now we're going to do the museum, which, as I said, is pretty simple. The first Numel is a range, and the Zubat is also a range, and it also can outspeed you, but significantly less dangerous compared to Alpha Sapphire. With my special attack, however, this should be fine. What's the range on this? Oh, it actually is still a range, but shouldn't be a problem. Okay. So this Zubat is a horrible range at my attack. probably like 40-ish% to die. But the worst it can do... Actually, it probably can Supersonic. But the worst it can do damage-wise is Wing Attack. Missed the range. That's unfortunate. Okay. I guess since you're at full health, he doesn't really have any point in trying to attack you. So we hit ourselves there. I think the worst he can do is Flame Burst. Although Focus Energy is also pretty scary. So we're gonna evolve into a Marshtomp here. Not hit the B button. So with this evolution, we also learn a very important, well not very important actually, pretty important ground move, Mudshot. But because Mudshot is special in this game, and the Mudkip line's attack base stat is pretty significantly higher than the special, you buy Bulldoze instead and use that for pretty much the entire Mudkip section. Because it stabs 60 base power and drops speed every time. And 100% accuracy versus Mudshot's 55 base power, 95% accuracy. And it still drops speed, but still. Bulldoze is a lot better. Alright, so now we're gonna do the big mart. See if I can remember everything I need to do. So we're gonna sell all Pokeballs, Ball Mushroom, this Great Ball, the PP up, and then buy 5x speeds, 11x attacks, 1x defend, and 5x specials. And I probably don't have enough to get another super, so we're just gonna, that's just gonna be it. So this cutscene is pretty Wonka TOS, not gonna lie. If you never played Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, if we had to guess, how old do you think this girl is? She does not look over the age of 18, from what I've seen. I don't know, this cutscene just always creeps me out whenever I see it. Because it's about contests. It's creepy. Who likes contests? Alright, so now that that's over, let's move on. Where we will fight this +1 Minun, who cannot do anything to you except switching around their ore and berries with you. They can bestow, they can switcheroo, they can encore. They also have spark, but they can't use that. So they literally cannot attack you. And plus level 9 and actually give pretty good experience. So we'll get almost to level 18 here. There's bestow. That's good because he can't heal now. So we're gonna check attack here. Is it 35 or 36? 35, okay. Encore is good. This should die. Hey, thank you, Chill Magic. Okay, so now we're gonna heal to full, which I think I'm almost at full, but I still need to heal to completely to full. Equip soft sand for soft sand. Silk scarf. I always like to play this guy safe. Actually, this time I'm gonna grab the full heal. Full heal is a very good safety strat, because the worst thing that can happen in this fight when you have enough special attack is the Slugma can use Ember and burn you. It doesn't happen that often, and you can pretty much recover from it whenever it does, but sometimes you can't. So we were looking for probably Rock Throw and Harden, because those do the least amount of damage. Harden obviously does nothing, but Incinerate, you see, does 10 damage there. That's partially because of how bad my special defense is. So 1, good. 2, so I have to actually heal here, which is pretty unfortunate. Because if I get Incinerate and then Quick Attack from Grovyle, that's not a good... You know what, I'm just gonna go for this. It should be fine. Yeah. Just cost a bit of time per turn. Shoot, I need a 37, 33. Oh, I didn't need to check anything there. So this Grovyle can, again, make him quick attack. But is harmless otherwise. And this Whalmer just dies, so. And you get a free heal afterwards, so it's no big deal. See, if you're attacking physically, this fight would be a lot worse if you got burned. So I guess full heal can probably help a little bit in some future fights, but you buy full heals after the Meteor Falls fight, so most of the time it's useless. So for safety purposes, I'm gonna grab. Normally you grab 1 bush of Lepa berries, but I'm gonna grab 2. Unless I just fail at everything. Okay. So now is where we're going to get Bulldoze. Bulldoze is a pretty good move, as I said before. And we're also going to get the bike. So that's also very handy. Thank you, Quay. Alright. So this is actually the menu that's coming up where you select the bike and also equip the soft sand is where you turn off the EXP share finally. Because there is a point in the game where you have more than one Pokemon in your party at a time. That's not for a while, but now is probably the best time to do it. So we taught Rock Tomb. So I did a menu before where I taught Rock Tomb and Echo Voice. I taught Rock Tomb first there, so that specifically for this menu that you're on the top item in your bag. To make that menu easier. So Wally's Ralt here is also a range, and with my attack, it's a pretty bad one. Did I even talk about ranges? I don't think I did. Basically what ranges are, is I think how they work is there's a set amount of damage that a move can do, but it can also do 12.5% more or 12.5% less than that amount. And that set of damages is considered a range. And based on your attack stat in certain fights here, it is more or less damage values that can kill a certain Pokemon. So, you don't have to talk to some dude to get Rock Smash here. Wally's dad just gives it to you. Same as Strength. Strength is significantly easier to get in this game. Your rival just gives it to you on your way to Fall Arbor. And he heals you twice on the journey from Mauville to Fall Arbor. He heals you twice. The second heal is not totally necessary, but it can be depending on how a specific fight goes. Because you only fight one trainer in between those two heals. So this gym is very, very easy. You just kind of sweep everything with Bulldoze. Literally everything dies except one Magnemite on Watson because it has Sturdy. And Magneton doesn't even get a turn. So, it's probably the easiest gym, actually. Because really nothing can go wrong. Actually, I lied. If you have 0 to 1 neutral speed, which is so unlikely, then Magneton actually does get a turn, even if you X speed. And it has Supersonic, so that's not very fun. So this girl is an optional. You have to fight every other trainer in this gym, however. So these Voltorbs outspeed you because Voltorbs are extremely fast. However, the worst thing they can do is roll out. And only one turn of rollout is nothing. But rollout is also the slowest move he can do. So you don't want rollout. Screech was good there. Again, see it does 1 damage, but... but the fact that it damages you and it's not very effective is kind of slow. It does not have Explosion. It has Screech, Eerie Impulse, which is -2 special attack, Rollout, and maybe Charge? Could be Charge. I don't remember its last move. It could be Spark, actually, because you never see the 4th move. That's probably why. No, I said Rollout. So you use Water Gun here first to break Sturdy. Literally the only inconvenience in this fight. We outspeeded that Voltorb too, that's good. So this split is pretty hard execution-wise, similar to Gen 3, because there's a lot of optionals everywhere. And also Mount Chimney in Omega Ruby is probably one of the Omega Ruby's biggest weaknesses compared to Alpha Sapphire, considering all Grimers become Koffings. And therefore you can't bulldoze them, because they have Levitate. No. I was actually supposed to teach Rock Smash there first, but should be fine. Now my menus are probably going to be screwed up though. So I think there's a 14% chance that if you smash a rock, you can get an encounter. But you can also get some pretty useful items. I've gotten a Max Revive here that actually helped in one of the fights. But nothing is also fine. Ooh. See, that optional is scary, because you have to line up with the rock, because the circle pad is stupid. And if she had turned down there, she would have saw me. This is where we get strength, but we don't teach it till later. You actually don't teach it until Marshtomp is not used anymore. Ooh, Monka, okay. So coming up, we're going to get some Person Berries. Person Berries are used throughout the run for various purposes. Most of them are... hold on. Most of them are to anticipate Swagger. Like on this next maxi fight, there's a pretty good chance that the Mighty Anna uses Swagger, and you use that to your advantage. So both this Bagon and this Makuhita are ranges, but Bagon's a 2-shot range. And again, with my attack, it's not a very good range. Bad roll. Ooh, good second roll. So you X attack here to anticipate Fake Out. He is about 90% to use Fake Out. But he can use other moves, which is not good. He has Force Palm, which can paralyze. He has Knock Off, which will knock off your soft sand so you won't kill him. And there's also this cutscene too, which is not required in Gen 3, but it is required in this game. This guy has gotten no sleep, you can just tell by his eyelids. He's been up all night, raving about how great secret bases are, and how we all need to create secret bases. Secret Power, though, is actually a pretty good move. It's 70 base power, and has a random secondary effect depending on where you are. I think it's a pretty cool move. Yay! What do you say when you're happy? I say yay, and so do all Aura speedrunners. And this cutscene takes a long time. It's like a minute and a half. There's actually a pretty scary optional coming up. I do very poorly at hitting or missing her. But we did it. And also you don't have to fight Brooke there. You can just go above her. Chill brings up a good point. Okay. Coming up is probably the worst range in the game. Not because of what he can do to you if you don't get it, but just how sheer unlikely it is to get it. This Trapinch just does not die. Trapinch does have Dig, which takes a long time, but can't kill you. So that range is actually still a range at the best possible attack, which I think is pretty crazy. I think with that Bulldoze I'm slower than this now, but it doesn't matter. So this upcoming part is probably the hardest part of this Flannery split. There's a bunch of optionals you have to dodge, so we'll see. Yeah. Okay. That's the first part. So this next trainer has just one Aeron, and Aeron has Protect. And Protect is very, very annoying. I think this is actually the only fight in the entire game where you use Rock Smash. It's a good way to save Bulldoze PP, and it's 4 times effective against Aeron. So he's gonna Iron Head here, that's just good. There's Protect though. Okay, that's fine. Okay, fight. In Wonder Trade races, he also has Roar. That's really annoying too. But since you only have one Pokemon here, it's not a problem. I should have gone for it. That was a very good Comet Shard pickup. Comet Shard is extremely useful in this run because it sells for $15,000, and you use it to buy a lot of hyper potions, like a lot. So I'm actually gonna heal here because in Omega Ruby, this coughing self-destructs every time. So you want to be able to take it. It actually sells for, I think, $30,000 in Gen 7. Because in Gen 7, I think every item gets a little bit boosted in terms of selling price. That's good. Well, not good was getting hit by a Swagger there, but this will do a bit of damage to Mightyena. So I'm actually going to full heal here. And Grovyle has a chance to kill him with Leaf Blade here, so that might not waste a turn. Mega Drain is also okay. I don't think that kills without a crit, though. Absolutely not chill. So we can Mudshot here. Leaf Blade is very good, because he can also Fury Cutter, which is horrible, and he can also Pursuit. Neither of which do much damage at all. Mega Drain and Leaf Blade are nice, though. I actually might do a yellow race after this, though. So I think... Oh shoot, what did I do? So it's actually pretty convenient. After this, you get taken back to Fall Arbor, and then your rival gives you the option to just teleport back to Mauville. And that's very, very handy and saves a lot of time. I think in Gen 3 you have to go all the way around, like, through Rustturf Tunnel and past Verdandurf Town, I think that's what it's called. So, now, depending on my defense and HP, I can decide whether I need to pick up a hidden X defense in Mauville for Norman. But with my HP and defense, I barely get out of the range of Retaliate on the second Sliking. If I had 7 HP IV instead of 9, I would risk a 1 in 16 to die. But now we don't have to. So here's where we're going to sell the Comet Shard and buy all the hypers. Also going to use the opportunity to buy repels and full heals. Okay. I actually think it's funny that I ran out of supers before I ran out of potions. What's my HP? I think I'm gonna stay on that HP. Oh, shoot, that's bad. That's also bad. So I just lost a bunch of repel steps. So that's not good, actually. So what's the plan then? So you're actually supposed to repel before the grass right here. Wow. See, that was the mechanic I was talking about before. I've never actually seen that before. I've never hit that hiker that way. The mechanic in Oras, where they can see you while spinning. That's never happened to me before on that specific trainer. That's crazy. I'm gonna chop. Yikes. Should be fine though. So now I have to heal. That's unfortunate. That's okay. Could have been a lot worse. Optional to hit. So so there's 3 fights on Mount Chimney. I'm going to save before 2 of them because you can die quite easily, and I have died in both of them fights, probably like at least more than once. And my repel is going to wear off fairly soon, I assume, which is not good. Okay. So, this fight can go pretty much 2 ways. Poochyena swaggers or he doesn't, and the fight has 2 completely different outcomes. Both are fine, most times, but... Assurance is probably the worst case scenario. Because his coughing is now still a 3-shot, and I have more damage. So that did 11. Okay. Just hit, just hit, just hit, just hit. Okay, alright, we're good. Alright, so we're definitely going to save, but I'm not going to heal, actually. And you'll see why in a second. This health is actually pretty good. So the idea with this fight is Tabitha has a coughing that does self-destruct whenever it's in range to kill you, most times. So with my defense, self-destruct can do up to 39. So the strat is to heal turn 1 and hope that he self-destructs. Since you really don't have a better option to kill him. The reason you save for this fight, though, is because if you get crit, you just die, obviously. Okay, there you go. Didn't even have to stall with Rock Tomb. And no crit, cool. So I'm actually level 25 for this fight. I don't think you're usually level 25 for Mediana. I don't think it makes a difference, but it might. So this is the first fight where we're going to equip Person Berry. Even if it means not having soft stand. But I'm definitely going to save, because this fight can go wrong as well. So you want Swagger here. If you don't get Swagger, you have a much longer setup. And sometimes you have to risk ranges if you don't get Swagger. Which I can't afford to risk those ranges with my attack. So we're going to hope for Swagger here. There you go. Okay, Assurance. Assurance again. Okay. And we're dead. Cool. Glad I saved. So yeah, if I didn't get crit there, I could have just swept because of how much attack I had. I was, at that point, +3, I think. Yeah, because of Intimidate. But that death is really unfortunate. So now we have to get Swagger again. Swagger, okay. That's a crit. See, that crit sucks because now I have to heal. Unless he uses Swagger here, but he won't. The setup is perfect if you don't get crit, because it's... you don't have to waste a turn healing. With my attack, you absolutely have to go to +3. But, to win, I guess. As long as I don't miss Rock Tomb on Golbat, which can happen. So I didn't know about this girl until recently, but there's a girl in front of the cable car that will heal you after you beat the Maxi fight. It only works after the fight. You can't do it before. Well, she's not there before, is what I mean to say. So this was quite a bad split. So my repel steps are going to be pretty off. My repel is probably going to wear off in the next 20 to 30 steps or like very soon. So I'm going to say no to refreshing it. And I'm going to use repel at the start of Jagged Pass and everything will be fine. So the only reason I know about this girl is because Sinstar, I'll talk about Sinstar's route in a second. So Sinstar created this new route for Oras that, mostly for Omega Ruby, that is a lot more risky. So that's the reason why I didn't use it in this run. Especially in Elite Four, it's pretty risky. And that's one of the first things that, okay, well, that's the first different thing that he does in his route. So we're going to try and hit a cycle for these optionals here. It just speeds up the gym if you can hit it. You don't have to wait for certain optionals to pass. More specifically, you're trying to avoid a walker. And I missed the cycle. Yeah. That spinner back there took a little too long to turn. So there's only one mandatory trainer in this gym, and it's this guy coming up, and he only has the Nummel. You one-shot with Bulldoze. So with that free heal, I actually probably can skip using a Lepa Berry, which is something you do in like mid-Norman gym. Hey, what's up, Legend? Okay, please. So this gym is pretty simple as well. You kill the first 2 pokes. But it's interesting because you don't actually bulldoze Torkoal, instead you mudshot him because of how defensive he is. And he dies to 2 mudshots. But the worst thing he can do is overheat, so it's not an issue. So yeah, this fight's pretty simple, but ironically, the next trainer, which is not a gym leader, can go a lot worse than how this gym can go. This gym you theoretically could miss Mudshot, and even that isn't that bad. It just means if he does Sunny Day turn 1 and then Overheat turn 2, does a little bit more damage. Okay. So a pretty bad split because of the Maxi Death and the optional, but it's perfectly okay. So yeah, next trainer has a Delcatty. And Delcatty will always use Attract on turn 2. And if you're a female Mudkip, he will instead use the worst move, Sing. Attract, at least you have a 50% chance to hit through it. And if you don't hit through it, then Delcatty will Sing and double slap and very slow fight. But you can't actually die to the fight unless you really stupid and don't heal. Alright, so we'll see how this goes. So I think actually this is a 3-shot range. Yeah, this is a pretty bad 3-shot range with my attack. So she'll actually have another turn, even if I do hit through it, Attract. That was a very bad roll. Yeah, this isn't gonna die. And I got immobilized anyways. Maybe like crit or something. Ooh, that died. That was a great roll. Do I have to heal? I do have to heal. Because Linoon can do quite a bit of damage with Covet. Even though I only have hypers, guess we're using a hyper. And Covet's actually pretty bad too, because it takes away your soft stand. So you're not gonna two-shot him. But if you don't get Covet, then you can just two-shot him. And it's an easy fight. So we're looking for like Mud Sport is probably the best. Good. And there's Covet though, so we have to use a Mud Shot in between. Unless you crit. I'm actually unsure if this will die. Okay. If that didn't die, he would have healed. So that's the gimmick for this trainer, the recovery trainer. Alright, so Zangoose in the actual Gen 3 games are normally very bad. But even with a critical, Zangoose literally cannot kill Marshtomp. No matter what stats it has. Well, actually, if you have an unrunnable Mudkip, it can kill you, but given the qualifications for runnable Mudkip, it literally cannot kill you. It gets close most times, but... See, he gets very close, but he just cannot kill you. So now it's time for Norman. We are absolutely going to save for Norman. If you get crit by anything, you die. And the fight varies significantly. Like, if he Encores, that's very, very good. Encore is great. Since you only use one move in the fight anyways. It's a very, very long setup as well. Alright. So you actually have to go to +4 for Norman. Which isn't that bad because of Truant, but still, he gets like 3 to 4 turns to attack. So yeah, this fight can go a ton of different ways. Okay, that's an okay start. He usually yawns turn 1. If he yawns again, that's really nice. Okay. 2, 3, 4. He might actually yawn again, which I'm kind of scared about. Okay, that's good. That's fine that I'm that low because you heal before the second Slaking every time. Because the second Slaking outspeeds you every time. So, as long as I don't get crit here, then I just win. Cool. See, as you saw, Truant activated before I hit him. But after Bulldoze, you're faster. I think it's actually also a range at bad attack. But I don't think I've ever missed that. So pretty good split overall. The fight could have gone better, I suppose, but I thought it was fine. So that's basically the end of the Marshtomp section. There's only one more fight, and if you're in Torrent, which I think I'm in Torrent, you just one-shot him. Okay. So now to talk about Latios versus Latias. So, you get Latios as a gift Pokemon in Omega Ruby, and you get Latias in Alpha Sapphire. Latios is much more specially attack-based versus Latios, which is more specially defense-based. And because of that, Latios tends to be a lot better during this section than Latias. Latias sometimes has to Mega Evolve if your stats are significant, like really bad. But Groudon is slower than Kyogre, so it kind of evens out. So the routes are very, very close together in terms of time. But in terms of which Pokemon you use, they're very different. So I'm not going to save for this fight, even though Camerupt is only a range to die. But if I do die, Metang is a pretty good chance to kill Camerupt if I do die. So when I'm talking about Metang, I mean it's a double battle. So you have Steven's Metang. Wait, I think I'm in Torrent, right? 24 out of 82? That's Torrent. That's gotta be Torrent. Because if you're not in Torrent, the Coughing doesn't die, and then he just self-destructs, and that's kind of ripped too. Although usually Metang will Zen Headbutt the Coughing turn 1 and kill it. But if it doesn't, then rip. Okay, so after I get Latios, I'm gonna need to know my special attack and speed, because I'm gonna teach Surf at the Weather Institute. and then when I teach Surf, the stats will show up. And all I need to know is my special attack and speed. So I can probably get it, but... in case I don't, it'd be really helpful if someone in chat can get it to help me. So there's Zen Headbutt that always kills coughing. There's a range to kill camera with Surf. And it did die. That's good. But yeah, plus RNG for good Latios. Most of the time, most of the stats for Latios work. Like, even minus special attack is not even that bad for Latios. Like, I mean, it's probably the worst you can get for Latios. But compared to, like, Latios, it's not that bad. My PB got Rash, which is plus special attack minus special defense, which is one of the best you can get. I guess Modest is probably the best, but... So we're gonna dodge a few more optionals here, hopefully. While grabbing a few items to use for Latios. Probably could have been hit there, but it's fine. So if I'm being honest, I don't exactly know where all of those trainers are, but there's a bunch of trainers in that grass. But generally that path is fine. I've been hit by one optional one time there. So I always get a little nervous, but it's pretty much always okay. Alright, so here's the menu. So I'm gonna do PP Max first since I'm already in the menu. And then teach Surf. So what do we got? It's neutral, 9280. Okay. So 80 speed is very good. .92 special attack is actually pretty good as well. Neutral is kind of okay. So, we take those. I'm actually going to write it in chat for reference. Because those are the only two stats you need, and those are the only things you need to keep track of. So now actually I can close this IV checker. So my PB, this is probably my biggest time loss of my PB. This Mightyena has Swagger, and I hurt myself 4 times. He's not even guaranteed to use Swagger. He's equally as likely to use a Dark type move since it's super effective. So bless RNG, I guess. Snarl, perfect. Do I need a heal? I do need a heal, I think. Maybe. I might not heal. I might just instead heal before Winona. Because Rival 3 is not dangerous. Or is it Rival 3? The rival after this Weather Institute. It's not very dangerous. And this health should be okay. So this cast form is cool because it's holding a Mystic Water, which really helps and boosts power of a Surf for Latios. Okay. This rain, by the way, I think you pretty much always get rain in this game, and it only loses like a few text boxes. It doesn't, I mean, I guess it boosts Surf's power on the Slugma, but it dies anyway without rain, so it doesn't really matter. So Grovyle can use, I think Pursuit is his worst move, and that does definitely not kill me from here. Yeah. And this also dies to 2 Dragon Breaths. Ideally, you want to save as many Surfs and Luster Purges as possible for the Magma Hideout. And if you don't have enough, you can just Elixir, but that loses time, obviously. Oh, god, that was slow. Alright, so now we're gonna get the Devon Scope from Steven, and we're gonna reveal this hidden Kecleon and run from it, as you do in a speedrun. And then you just go fight Winona. There's no mandatory trainers in Winona's gym, so you can just dodge them all. There are a lot of spinners, though. There's like 4 or 5 spinners. But they're pretty easy to dodge, like Gen 6 spinners are. Oh wow, we got the Swampert. We're definitely going to use that. So we're going to use that Devon Scope to get rid of this Kecleon here. And just go to the gym. Alright, so there's a few variants in Winona's gym, so I'm just going to heal and save. Even though you really don't need to. Heal. Actually, I'm not going to save. This fight is very safe. Especially with my speed. I outspeed the Swallow. So, the only two things that Swallow can do are Aerial Ace and Double Team. Double Team makes it a bit more variant because you can miss with Double Team up, obviously. That's how Double Team works. And there's also two ranges. Skarmory and Pelipper are both ranges. So you kind of want to be at a certain amount of health so that you don't die if you miss them. Okay. I mean, Aerial Ace is probably ideal. But if you get one Double Team and hit through it, it's probably more ideal. See, that's just unfortunate. Okay. Alright, so ironically, when known as Ace Altaria is the only one that's easy to kill. The other two are pretty Monka-esque. Skarmory is probably the worst of the two ranges. Okay, good. I think this guy can protect, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, we got both of them, that's good. So as long as we can dodge all the optionals here, there's a free heal after, there's a nurse that gives a free heal. Right before Mount Pyre, which is the next stop. Also, that TM, that yellow ball right there, was Grass Knot, and Latias needs Grass Knot to deal with the Team Aqua trainers. So that's somewhat of a time save for Omega Ruby. I should have gone, but I'm a chicken, so... Alright, and there's a few more in the actual Mount Pyre, like the Ghost Tower. But those get pretty simple after you get used to them. So we're running kind of low on max repels, so... hold on. At the next, after Mount Pyre, you fly to, Slateport as part of the story, as I mentioned before, earlier in the run. And while you're there, you do a giant menu where you buy more X items and repels and healing items and stuff like that. So, that's not going to be a problem. That should be our last repel. Okay. So I've died once to Mount Pyre. Mount Pyre is probably one of the biggest strengths of Omega Ruby, but you still can die. It's very unlikely. Again, because one of the Medienas has swagger. I think both do, but Embargo is what you want to see from both of them. So let's see. There's Embargo, nice. I didn't know the crit doesn't actually kill that. That's interesting. I guess crits don't do double damage. They probably just do like 1.5 or something. But, I mean, I guess it would have been nice to kill it, but... Perfect. Great fights. He can also attack you, which is fine, but you would need to heal, obviously. Which takes time. But now I can just... If I don't take damage here, I don't have to worry about healing at all. Which I shouldn't take damage, because this should always try to surf. Even though it's 5 levels higher, it just always dies because it is 4 times weakness. So we're gonna get the red or blue orb. Whoops. I forget why we get the blue orb, because this is Omega Ruby, but I think it's... Well, Wallace recognizes you as a person of interest. No. And lets you into the Cave of Origin, so I guess that could be it. So I probably need to buy 1 X attack. Normally you don't need to buy any. But I used an extra one on the maxi fight. Yep. Oh. Come on. Cool. So Team Magma is making this giant announcement from the harbor, which I don't understand how they can hear. And now the captain's submarine's been taken. Oh no! What are we gonna do? Make it fight some more grunts. Riveting. Can Golbat actually attack you? I feel like he can. I think Golbat might outspeed you. But it could be Mightyena that I'm thinking of. Because you surf Mightyena twice. Which, if I'm being honest, I don't know why you surf it over Dragon Breathing. But I guess I'll Dragon Breath it. There's really no reason not to. It doesn't die to... It should die to 2. Easy. I guess if you don't have good enough special attack, it doesn't always die. So now I don't have to heal. It's all working out very nicely. I think this just dies, and then... Okay, yeah, USB'd it. So next fight is Rival 4, which is optional in Gen 3. But mandatory in this game. Funny enough, the Sceptile that Brendan has does not have any grass-type moves. Instead it has Dual Chop, which is much worse for Latios. But it can't do more than like 60% of your health, so you don't usually fall below that threshold. So we're just gonna go. So since I have good stats, I don't have to set up as much as you might have to, depending on how good your Latios is. So all you have to do is just X special once. Very simple. Ah, God. Okay. That's double team, you just have to hit. Ooh, he's faster than me. That's actually very interesting. Why is that? Detect is annoying. So yeah, he literally does not have a grass type move. Pretty sure he has agility, dual chop, detect, and slam. And this Wailord can damage you, he gets a turn, but he goes for Water Spout most of the time. Which, after you damage him, does very little. So I think we saved enough PP so that I don't have to Elixir. Yeah, I have 4 Luster Purges and 10 Surfs, which is just enough to finish the run with Latios. I'm going to heal though. So that girl's a spinner. She's really the only... There's another spinner, but that spinner is not that hard to dodge. That girl is hard to dodge because you can't really see her. Good. Embargo is very ideal there. So now we're gonna go get the Master Ball so that we can catch Groudon. It's a little bit of a drag to get, but you kind of need it, so. Because if you don't catch it, you have to kill it, and killing it is very difficult. So you just take all right teleporters here, very unique combination from Game Freak there. So here you can dodge the electrodes by doing diagonal input towards the Master Ball. Both of those other two are electrodes. And you can only do that with the circle pad, you couldn't do that with the D-pad. So here's the other spinner. Okay. And I think he can also catch you while turning, so you have to be careful about that too. I think you learn telekinesis here. Might be wrong. Yeah. But you don't learn any level up moves from Latios, so it doesn't matter. So this fight is actually pretty interesting. because it features a horde battle of 5 different magma grunts who throw out each throw out a Poochyena, which are like level 17, all of them. So this normally, if you didn't have a spread move, this would be like a lot of time. But Surf attacks all opponents and will just kill them all. So it's very convenient. I probably should have grabbed that max revive just for safety, but if there's a difficult fight, I can just save for it. And take the time loss if I die. So that will also always die. So next up is Tate and Liza. Again, all the trainers in Tate and Liza's gym are optionals. So you don't need to fight any of them. So it's a pretty quick transition from the end of the hideout to Tate and Liza. Are you serious? Was I really not going fast enough to, like, make that go away? Wow. That's pretty funny. Normally with Dex Nav encounters, you're running, and you can only encounter Dex Nav encounters normally through come on. Crouching. Or not crouching, like sneaking. So to get that encounter, it must have meant I was going slow enough so that I considered it sneaking. So that's not great time loss, but... Oh no. I forgot she was a spinner and not a stander. Oh god. This is not good. This is very bad. I think this optional hurts. Why do you have synchronize? No, you have recover too. What? Okay, well. So now I'm gonna have to use the elixir later on. Okay. Wow, the optionals in this gym suck. I've hit that specific one one time before, and I've never hit any other ones. A lot of them are standers. There's only a few that are spinners. It's that one, and there's one other one. Like, this guy's a stander. This is the other spinner. So this is significantly more free than in the Gen 3 games. And that's because all you have to do is just... It's the same reason that Marshtomp is bad in Gen 3 for this fight is the same reason why this fight is easy in Gen 6. Because Solrock, I think, will always go for Solar Beam. Maybe not almost always. I guess almost always. And Solar Beam prevents Tantalizer from healing Solrock. No. Okay. Light Screen is good from a... That crit is not good. Okay, I think Light Screen is still better from Latios, or not, from Lunatone. So, they're probably going to heal Lunatone this turn. Yeah. But this will still die, I think. Cool. So yeah, this fight is pretty easy in this game. So there's only, I guess, 2 more fights? Yeah, 2 more fights with Latios. So after Maxi 2, the Walla split is pretty much all cutscenes. All you really do there is you catch Groudon, you do the ice puzzle, and you kill Wallace. That's it. And it's a 20-minute long split. So prepare for some resident sleepers, I guess, but not now. Can't be complaining about the cutscenes in this game versus later games. Alright. Okay. Heal. This is a good time to use the elixir. And teach dive. Because we're about to use dive to get down into the, what's it called? Seafloor cavern. So yeah, Marshtomp is the very ideal HM slave. Wow, I didn't know you... Wow, I've never gone that left before. You need to, down in a second. Yeah. Okay. So there's a few puzzles you have to do up here. This one is just funny because they just like left an rock smash rock right there. You can just walk right by it. Same with another rock later on. So I'm gonna get off the bike for this spinner because you have to pass him twice and it's kind of scary. So there's no prevention there from getting through there. There's a water puzzle, that's not that hard. And there's a boulder puzzle which is coming up, which I also like to get off the bike for. Because it requires very precise movement. Well, not this one. I guess this one is considered a boulder puzzle, but... So there's another Mightyena here. You want Embargo. Ironically, Maxie's Mightyena is the only one where you do not want Embargo. Embargo sucks on Maxie. It's pretty rare, but it happens. Taunt is fine. Taunt is basically the same thing as Embargo. It's pretty similar. Ooh. Okay, we're fine. So I'm gonna save for this Maxie fight, because if you get Embargo, your run's just over. I guess you could adapt, but if you get it turn 1, you just can't recover. Am I full health? Yeah, I am. So almost always this Mightyena will try and Scary Face, which is why we use the opportunity to guard spec to prevent any of that from hitting. Okay. 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 That should be good. The Embargo's now, it's fine. Okay, perfect. Oh no, he's mega evolving. What are we gonna do? Oh no. Oh, he died. Okay. Kappa. So let the cutscenes begin. Yay. Oh my goodness, Groudon's stronger than we thought. Oh no. The world's gonna die. I feel like it's very painful if lava's flying everywhere. Like, isn't some of that gonna hit Maxie or the character? So yeah, it's just a lot of dialogue. There's a few things like you have to go to Sutopolis after this and start the cutscene with the Cave of Origin. And even like there's not a lot you have to do. It's just like a lot of getting stopped and dialogue and. But yeah, the actual like from like fighting in this split, there's probably like 2 minutes of fighting, maybe less. No, actually, because it's just a fight with Wallace. But like, say in like Gen 3, you have to, what do you have to do? Especially like Emerald, you have to go to Sutopolis, go to the Cave of Origin, escape rope out, fly to Pacifilog, surf to Sky Pillar, and all that probably is the same length as the split. There's so much cutscene here. And I guess that builds the storyline up a bit, and it wouldn't be much fun if it wasn't there, but still. Have to say, I mean, if it's just sunny out, that's one thing, but neither of these weather conditions seem too bad. But like, I mean, if it's like literally like boiling, like how are they okay? And Alpha Sapphire just rains. Rains happens all the time. Who cares? Like, the grip of my stylus is wearing. So we finally enter the cave after 7 minutes of the split. I'm not gonna be able to get down the staircase, come on. Good, okay. Alright, that was the last floor, so this is Groudon now. But first he has to take me on a ride. I'm gonna ride his back. He's gonna take me through the lava. Curious as to if Groudon is that far into the lava, how does the character manage to get on its back? Game Freak, what are you doing? What are you doing? These plot holes are too much. Okay, now we finally are gonna get the ability to catch this thing. Repel, please. Thank you, Discord. Very cool. So after this Groudon is caught, there's like a cutscene that's about 2 minutes long with no text boxes. So it's a good time during a run when you can like go away from your computer and like go to the bathroom or whatever. So I'm actually going to take that opportunity because I need to go to the bathroom. So we're going to catch our Groudon. And after it catches, you can enjoy this beautiful cutscene. Alright, I'll be right back. Enjoy. Okay, I'm back. What do we think? Yeah, it is a nice cutscene. I agree. It's a speed run, of course. Alright, so next is coming up is... First of all, I have to check Groudon's stats. So I might need some help with that. I need attack and speed. I'm gonna rare candy Groudon, and I need attack and speed. And so after that, I need to, Wallace's Gym is there's 3 sets of puzzles, and it requires that you go on specific ice tiles so that you clear all of the ice tiles exactly, with your last tile being next to the staircase so that you can go up to the next one. So it's pretty execution heavy. If you mess one up, depending on how far you are in, you can hit a bunch of optionals. I'm confident enough in my movement so that I won't... Like, if I play it safe, I can just... I'm confident enough so that I can not have to save. But it is pretty scary sometimes. Pretty good movement. Alright, what do we got? 157.91, I think. 157.91, okay. Cool. And this fight's not very dangerous with Groudons. You don't need to risk anything, or you don't need to save. Okay, there are the stats. So attack is okay. The speed is not great, but should be okay. Earthquake is slots 3, I think. Okay. So yeah, in Drought, water moves do very, very little. So with my attack, I can actually sweep the fight with Earthquake, but sometimes you have to risk a Precipite Blades, which can miss. Nice meme, gold split. Alright, so we're going to do a lot of teaching moves here. I think you teach 3 things here. So from here on, Sinstar's route varies quite a lot from Etiquette's route, which is what I'm using. In general, keeping Precipice Blaze is a pretty good, like, risky strat for Omega Ruby, because it does significantly more damage than other moves. But can miss. Oh, and Overheat's kind of the same way, but you only have to hit like 2 Overheats in the Elite Four, where it's dangerous if you miss it. And I'll save for that fight, which is Phoebe. That's basically it. Yeah, it's not even guaranteed to die if you miss on Phoebe. Oh god, okay. There's two trainers coming up that I always think are kind of monk-ass. Okay. The two of them combined are kind of scary together. So we're gonna do some PC stuff. Because you want to deposit some of your pokes. Except, okay. So you want to keep Marshtomp in your party because he has all the HMs that you need for Victory Road. But you also want him to be dead because there's several double battles in Victory Road that you need to dodge. I think in one of my PvPs I made the mistake of accidentally depositing Marshtomp, and I had to intentionally kill him in Victory Road. It costed about a minute. Alright, so this Frostlass here has Confuse Ray, which, because I didn't have to use the Person Berry on Wallace, is good that I still have it here. And Frostlass will always outspeed you, so you really can't avoid it. Easy, we hit Overheat. What was that? Oh my god, okay. Well, let's not go down the ladder, I guess, okay. What the hell? So there was a Dex Nav encounter there, and I was going fast enough so that I just made it go away. Okay. So Throw needs X attack to die, which is this guy's second Pokemon. So Agility didn't matter there since Feint is priority. And Throw can also use Endure, which is a priority move, I think. But he didn't, and it died. Cool. Sock, there's another trainer with Sock coming up, and he can do the same thing. Very annoying. Not this guy. This just dies to Lava Plume, easy. And there's a few optionals here. One of them's coming up. That one's pretty simple. But there's another trainer who's very not simple to dodge. I think you have to dodge him 3 times. He only has a Kingdra, but he can kind of hurt quite a bit. So we don't want Endure here. And he does it anyways. I don't know why he always Endures turn 2. It's pretty annoying. Right, here he is. Okay. Not the worst pass. So next up is Wally. With Groudon, Wally is pretty easy. Although there is a few variants. I do not watch the Pokemon anime, unfortunately. I used to. Okay, so this Altaria, which is Wally's lead, has Cotton Guard, which ups defense by 3 stages. And if he does that, that means he doesn't die to Smackdown and Earthquake. So it's kind of annoying there too. And Magneton has Sturdy, which means he'll get a turn to hit me. But he really doesn't do more than like 40 or 50. There's Cotton Guard, unfortunate. Look how little that does. Yeah, I agree. This music's really nice. Everything pretty much goes down to Earthquake except Magneton. Even the Mega Glade. So he usually goes for Flash Cannon, although I think he can go for other things. There's Screech, okay. So the beginning part of the Elite Four is probably where Alpha Sapphire saves the most time, but it is very consistent in Omega Ruby. Because you have to Primal Evolve 3 times for the first 3 Elite Four members. So Wally gives you a Dawnstone here, which we'll definitely make use of. For sure, 100%. Oh, shoot, I didn't see the text box. Darn. That was some Mewtwo 8 there. Definitely gonna need that. Okay. So Sydney is very not dangerous, so I'm not gonna save for him. The only dangerous fights, per se, are probably Phoebe, maybe Drake, maybe Champion. So I'll probably save for all of those. It's actually kind of close if this is going to be sub 320, but I'm not sure. So Shiftry is probably, like, Shiftry can't kill you, but he's kind of a troll. And Cacturne can kind of be a troll, too. Okay. Sharpedo usually goes for Aqua Jet, which does nothing because of Desolate Land. Crunch. Never seen that before, actually. This almost always goes for Fake Out as well. And then usually Leaf Blade after that, because it's faster. Because of, what's it called? What's the ability? Solar Power or something? That makes it, like, faster in sunlight. So this thing has Spiky Shield, but 50-50 to use it. There it is. Chlorophyll, okay. Thank you. So we don't need to heal for this fight, but I am going to save. You need to hit 2 overheats. An overheat, I think, is 85% accurate. Yeah, I agree, Benji. You really couldn't tell unless you saw, like, the intro, I guess. Maybe, like, grass or something? I guess grass would probably be it, yeah. There's one. That's good. This usually uses Fake Out, although not always. Okay. That's a range sometimes, too. Alright, second overheat's coming up. Yeah, Champ can kill you. It's kind of scary sometimes. Missing there is less scary than missing on Dusclops, because Dusclops has Curse. And Curse can end your run most times. actually am going to save, actually. Because I didn't realize my speed was so bad, because now I have to X speed on, I think Glalie is the first poke. I'm not sure what it has. I think it has Hail, which I don't think that does anything. Because of Groudon's ability. Or Primal Groudon's ability, rather. In Alpha Sapphire, Walrein can Sheer Cold. And if it hits, you obviously die. But I think in this, it usually, like almost always, goes for Surf. And Surf does nothing in this condition, in Desolate Land. So I'm not sure exactly what this thing has. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, love them. I have just enough Earthquakes. Oh. That's not good. I'm kind of glad I saved. I've never, ever, ever seen Blizzard. What's with everything happening like so randomly today? So I'm gonna heal a full then. That's very strange. Heckin' War Tab. It's 70% to hit too. It's okay. So you want Hail here? Oh, okay, he doesn't Hail. Alright. Because usually when you're on Glacia, you're at like around 70, so I was a little low for, I was a little bit low, but yeah, see, that always just surfs when you're out of range for Blizzard. Yeah, I knew that. But you kind of have to, if you have bad speed. Okay, so there's a huge menu coming up. You can pretty much completely change your moveset. Okay, I don't know this moveset. Strength. Perfect. Yeah, plot twist, Groudon was the HM slave all along. Okay, yeah, I'm actually not gonna save for this fight. I don't know what I was thinking thinking this fight was risky. You literally can't die if you just follow instructions. Yeah. Well, you set up to +6 on both Champion and Drake. So yeah. No Cotton Guard, no Cotton Guard. There it is. It literally does like 40 war tab. That's a crit. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Okay. That crit is really nice, by the way. That crit's very, very nice. It sometimes dies if you don't get Cotton Guard and you have good attack, but rarely ever. Affection dodge. 314 Quay. This run is probably going to be 321, 322-ish with the death. Yes, I know. But imagine if trainers did. It'd be scary. Ah! Alright, here we go. Early Toxic is not great. Because if you get Toxic turn 1, it usually means you have to heal twice on Skarmory. Although not always. My PB didn't even get Toxic. Like, 0 Toxic. Alright, here we go. That's bad. So you have to heal here. It would be nice to heal if you can, like, if you can heal after getting the Smackdown off. But I just couldn't there. So he's probably going to Toxic again. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. You're not safe yet, by the way. This boy is not fun. Don't do it. Don't defense drop. Okay, good. Should be fine. Bullet punch doesn't kill. Good. Didn't even go for it. Easy. Yes, Steven is not the end of the run. Time is not after Steven. We're going to have to sit through 10 minutes of credits before the last fight. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you probably could just skip the last fight, but it's part of the run. I mean, if enough people want to just skip the credits, then we could just call time after this Hall of Fame sequence. So time would be there if we want to do that. Credits music's kind of a bop. And you get to go through your journey, you get to... You get to see flashbacks of how your run went. You get to reminisce on all the bad times of this game. I saw the stream. They're riding their bikes together. Just like make out already, please. You're just delaying our time. See, if they just like got together, we wouldn't have to have a final fight. Yeah, true. Like, Brendan like just gives up after a certain point. He's like, oh no, I'm not fit to be a trainer. You go. I feel like for the future, I should just like skip the credits for any future marathons. Which I am actually running this in No Glitches Allowed a few weeks. I agree, Wartab, but my estimate was way too high in this run. So, there's no point. As soon as I put it as 345, I immediately regretted it. Should have done it like 330 or something. I had even warned Pseudo that my estimate would be way too high. And kind of just like, oh, it's the last run, so it doesn't matter. Pretty sure it's either Benji or Pseudo. I think it's Benji. If you didn't evolve your starter, yeah, the credits change based on how your journey went. Like, it's not just set. Like, whatever you use to beat these gyms will show up. It's almost done. The credits itself are probably like 2 to 3 minutes more. And then the fight. After Groudon, there's Wallace, and then the Wally fight, and then Steven, and then the panels are done. Oh, catching Groudon first, okay. But that's not when the run ends! If anything, it should have been after the Hall of Fame. You don't... Okay. Okay, I don't need your shade, Wartab, okay? And I made this overlay myself. They just kind of adapted it onto their screen. I guess I should use this then in the future. Okay, credits are just ending now. But not time, not time, not time. Time is after you win the last rival fight. Definitely. Honestly, I'm gonna blame Game Freak for creating this rival fight after the credits. Otherwise, it'd be no argument about it. Alright, so this fight's pretty hard. Usually you have to set up to like +4 or 6 or something. Well, with Sword Stance that's kind of easy, but... Oh wow, we got outsped. That's good. Alright, so Whale Lord is probably the best to set up on. Okay, yeah, see, Bulldoze does nothing. Okay. So we'll go to +6. Ooh, that hurts. We'll go to +8. We'll go to +10. Oh no, we died. What are we gonna do? And... time. Wait, Quay, you didn't... Quay, believe me. Let's go. Alright, well... thank you guys all for watching that. Thanks to Pseudo and Benji and whoever else was behind the this marathon. Without them, this wouldn't have happened for sure. So yeah, this is the last run of the marathon, so I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Here's the end. But yeah. Yeah, time for round 2, guys. I should have made that an incentive, but then again, I don't know round 2, so... What surf? This is Omega Ruby. Alright. We good? So we're gonna... Oh my god, there's people in my chat that are like so dumb.
Hello,
Everyone was
everyone.
chatting in my stream. Like, why? It says in my title, go to this link.
The end.
Alright.
So, everyone. I hear myself and this is awful. I hate this. Hold on. Hello. Hello, zusammen. How's everyone doing? So yeah, this is the end. This is the end, boys. I always love playing this song. Oh, Undertale! Oh my god. So yeah, guys, that is the end of the Insaniacs Summer Marathon 2019. We had quite a lot of fun run. I can tell you that. Like, we began like with my own run where I PB'd by like 14.5 minutes. We saw some sexy car, Metanational, Luigi's Mansion, Sonic Adventure, Super Lumi Live, Animorphs. We even saw a Tad. That's something you see very rarely in online. We saw a fantastic run of Majora's Mask. Saw Gorky 17. We saw Orox doing Pokemon Yellow and 6 Tuple V or BBB. Gargoyle's Quest by Marchurify, Q, Pokemon Emerald by Sudo, Splatoon 2 by Ghost Senpai, others like Wave Race, Pokemon Diamond Pearl, Super Metroid, Dungeon Hearts, Pokemon Challenge, 20XX, Mighty Gumball Wars, Star Wars Tesla Grad, Wii Sports Resort, Mickey Mania, The Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform, Pokemon Gold, Neighbors from Hell, 2 Harry Potter games, Chamber of Secrets, Half-Blood Prince, Super Mario Endless Earth, Gris, and Pokemon Omega Ruby. So many wonderful and insane runs, a massive variety of skill and luck, like, you know. So, next one is probably, I don't know, we haven't planned anything yet, but since this is like every like 5-6 months, we probably would think it's like during the winter in January, February, around that. Probably around February. Like a month after GDQ, stuff like that. That fits the best for us. So we really had a lot of runs. I want to say a few things first. So, I was the one who made the graphics, the layout and all that shit. I was pretty happy with how it looked like. Could still be a little bit better and stuff. Could still fit more stuff in. Music from Monster Cat. Thank you so much for providing us the music we always need. Sudu, who set up the virtual machine so nobody has to run their PC to host the marathon. Basically like a virtual machine based off of my idea that I had. I want to thank Rachel, Martret, and Maxine, those three, for giving a lot of input and feedback on all the marathon planning and all that shenanigans. We really want to still improve more, and we will open up a feedback channel soon, and also basically create all the VODs for the runs, upload them to YouTube, etc., etc. as soon as possible. It's just like probably like this sometime the upcoming week. Also want to say a special shout out to Mark Cherify. Due to some real life, Mark Cherify is not gonna be part of the Insaniacs Marathon staff anymore, and probably not gonna participate in our plannings anymore. So I want to say to Mark Cherify a massive thank you for the discussions and the feedback and yeah, all these things. It's been a pleasure working with you, even though we were not always on the same length when it came to discussions and decisions. But whatever you do, I definitely will see you in the streams and somewhere else. But I wish you the very best, and I hope we'll come back to us one day. I do not know who else quits. I don't know about Maxine or Rachel. I don't know about any of those. So yeah, this was the Insaniacs Summer Marathon 2000. I hope you really enjoyed this marathon. We really want to prove, so feel free to leave your comments, positive or negative, as long as they're constructive. They are criticism in the Discord once they've opened it. So yeah, I think I have nothing more else to say. I really have nothing more else to say. So yeah, I guess that's it. Who are we gonna hold? Give only a few viewers who stay. Dance game. Really, not really. Those people who are active from our marathon have been online. So. Who do we host? I have nobody to host. Well, then let's just cut it off like this. And I wish you everyone a very pleasant night. And we probably will see us again in around January, February 2020. Have a good one, guys. And I wish you a pleasant night or a good afternoon. Good morning, wherever you are.